97.3 Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Ejibi Biafe Akenting.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
In the party, the opposition should go to the main youth organizer, but unfortunately, it went to my deputy. I have resumed office because I have received my appointment letter.
Confusion in Asin North NDC as constituency youth organizer marshals boys to drag his deputy out of office and lock up the office, claiming that the position for YEA boss in the district is for him. Also coming up, University Teachers Association of Ghana threatened to embark on a strike to demand President Mahama declares a state of emergency to deal with Galamsey.
We are hearing from grapevine that the LI, instead of it repeal, they are discussing of amendment. We never in any way said we wanted amendment. So that was a breach to the pact. Yes, you talk about state of emergency. Rhetorically, he just talked about state of emergency. Then let us place it into action.
And later on Eyewitness News, accusations of favoritism arise following the NPP's conference over the weekend. We'll be hearing from all the camps of persons interested in being flag bearer of the Elephants Party. Still with 97.3 Citi FM for more of this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
CSOs demand clear expiry date for new 1 Ghana cedi fuel levy.
That's in 15 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM. Both are based in Takoradi. In Suryani on Greener 95.9 FM. In Nkawie on Adrian Park 99.9 FM. In Howe on Heritage 107.3 FM. In Soga on Freedom 88.1 FM. In Saboba, we are on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM. In Garu, you can listen to us on Quality 88.7 FM. In Nalerugu, we are live on Nobia 98.1 FM. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. Just look for Citi FM and follow the live stream. You can also send your messages on WhatsApp 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. You can also go on Twitter, now known as X, and mention my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973 and post your comments. Let's start off from the Asin North constituency, shall we?
Some aggrieved youth of the National Democratic Congress NDC earlier today stormed the Asin North District Office of the Youth Employment Agency YEA, broke the locks and replaced them to lock out Deputy Youth Organizer Christian Amwakohene Amwa, who had been occupying the office for over 2 months. The group, led by the constituency organizer Francis Bright Atibi, argued that Mr. Amwa was not the rightful appointee and insisted the position should have gone to him. After taking control of the office, they declared Mr. Atibi the new district director. Speaking to Citi News, Francis Bright Atibi claimed he had received an official appointment letter and was now in charge of the post.
In the party, the opposition should go to the main youth organizer, but unfortunately, I don't know what happens. Yeah, it went to my deputy. So today, I have resumed office because I have received my appointment letter and then my posting letter. That is why I'm here today.
In what capacity did your deputy assume work even before you came here today?
Well, for that one, I can't tell. Because the only thing I hear is he has given an appointment. But I don't know where that appointment was given to him. So I went to my boss, our boss, original boss. But he said the appointment was given to him. But you don't know the one who actually gave the appointment to him. So I went to the head office for verification. So when I went there, mine was given to me.
You heard the Asin North constituency organizer for the National Democratic Congress NDC, Francis Bright Ativi.
His deputy is Christian Ankomahene Amwa. Until this morning, he was the YEA director for the Asin North District and currently deputy youth organizer of the NDC. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, sir?
By God grace, I'm doing great. Great yourself.
Great. I'm doing well. Did you go to work today?
Yes, I was going, but unfortunately I had some misfortune alongside them. I stopped on my way going to the work.
What did you hear? And is this something you can confirm what you heard?
When I was getting closer, I saw some mobs, a group of people gathered in front of my office. So, for security reasons, I have to send somebody to go and look at what is going on. Unfortunately, they told me that one of my bosses in NDC says he's resuming office today. So what I heard was what I advised myself that it can be for what you do for security reasons. I have to back off then, see what happened. That's the reason why I couldn't enter the office today.
So how long have you been director? First of all, confirm if you were the YEA director for Asin North.
Yes, please. I'm YEA director Asin North.
Since when?
I have resumed work for almost two months now. Even I have started receiving my salary.
Okay, who appointed you and how were you appointed?
I'm the deputy youth organizer, and because of the work that we also did for me to get this power, my bosses and my constituency saw the work I did, and I was given the appointment by the national through the region. I took my appointment letter from the region.
So the regional director gave you your appointment letter?
Right, from the national.
When did he give you this letter? Who was it? He or she?
Almost 2 months. Almost 2 months. Let me say 2 months now.
Who signed it?
And it wasn't only me. The whole directors in the central region, we took our appointment letter at one day.
Who signed your letter?
The CEO.
Who?
It was signed by the CEO.
Who is the CEO, sir?
Malik Basintali.
Do you remember the date on it, the letter that was given to you?
If I should check my record and if you write,
can you do that? Are you able to find the letter right now?
Yes, we can come.
Okay.
The letter is dated second May. That is it was dated 2nd May 2025, and I resumed work on 7th May 2025.
Can you read the letter for me, please, sir?
Yes, please.
So offer of appointment.
That is also at appointing Christian.
Is it on the letterhead? Is it on the letterhead?
Yes, please.
YEA letterhead?
Yes, please.
Okay, please read.
Signed by Malik Basantoria. Offer of appointment. Christian Nkumana. I am pleased to inform you that after an assessment by management, we have been given a contract appointment as Assistant Technical Service Manager, level 8, with the Youth Employment Agency, YEA, effective May 5th, 2025 to October 1st, 2025. Your appointment is subjected to renewal upon factory performance. You receive a basic salary. You also entitled to transport allowance. You will be required under the National Pension Scheme 2008 at 766 to contribute 5.5% of your salary towards your retirement benefit. Please communicate your acceptance or otherwise of this offer on or before 9 May 9, 2025. Signed, Malik Basantoria, AG, Chief Executive Officer. Copy. AG, Director of Human Resource. PF, please file. And I am having my preference letter as well.
I see. Now, the title you mentioned in the letter, you didn't say Director of YEA. You mentioned something level 8.
It is Assistant Technical Manager. You see, every district director is considered as Assistant Technical Service Manager. That is what we normally say, Director, YEA Director, YEA Director. Everybody, if you can confirm from any district that every director that we talk about has that in the title, Assistant Technical Service Manager.
Okay, so even though the title doesn't specifically say director, you are saying that the role is actually that of director.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you if you lobbied for this position or it was just offered to you?
Every position, political position is being lobbied. And apart from lobbying, you see, they look at your hard work, how effective you have worked towards the success of this part, this victory. And God be so good, you can confirm from my district, I have worked assiduously, tirelessly, for me to get this position.
When you took this position and you've been at post for 2 months, you say you've been receiving salaries. From where? Which office?
It's YEA office. I'm talking about YEA.
So not controller and accountant general. That's not where you receive your salary from, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been congratulated by your party members in your constituency since you took this job?
The day I got my appointment, even I didn't do the flyer. The day that my appointment came, I didn't know who did the flyer and where they got the picture from. I was all over media.
Did your constituency chairman congratulate you and other executives?
Yes, some of the executives congratulated me, but some also was mute.
I see. And that would include your boss, the direct boss, your youth organizer.
Exactly.
Do you have an issue with your boss?
Actually, I don't have any issue with him.
But he has an issue with you.
I have worked with him for 8 years. Barely 8 years. I have worked with him barely 8 years. And I have not even just a sense of exchange of ways. No.
Do you think he has issues with you?
I can't actually tell, but I think maybe it is from somewhere. I don't know.
Has he ever told you that the position you are occupying doesn't belong to you and that is for him?
You see, initially he told me we dialogued concerning this position, and he told me he didn't like the position, so I should go for it.
Oh, really?
I went for it. Yes.
This was before you went to lobby.
I learned there was an external pressure. I don't know. You see, I learned there was an external pressure to him. That's the mind, his mind changed towards this election. So this position. So he said, so far as we are feeling for the main youth organizers, we have to go for it. And I think he's having a big man, I don't know, that can fight for him to get a different appointment.
So did you expect what happened this morning to have happened?
Never. It was a very shock to me.
He said he got a letter from the headquarters of YEA appointing him to the position and that your appointment was in error. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't know. And
one of you must be lying. Who is that?
Pardon?
One of you must be telling lies. One of you must have a fake appointment letter. Don't you think so?
Supposing if I should be the lawyer, then meaning and I need not to come on the payroll. But you get me?
I get you, and also not to work for 2 months. So throughout the 2 months that you were working, nobody came to sack you. You were sitting in the CEO's in the director's office.
Yes, and the office he entered today within my 2 months. I made the office. I renovated the office. It was just a wooden TNG. It was a TNG structure. I did it block. All the furniture within the tiles. I have tiled the floor. All these things that you went to see at the office. I did it personally, and the office that I am not mandated to be there. I can't do that.
I see.
I did it, and even yesterday, about 3 days ago, the recruitment we did.
You were you organized it. Okay. So today you did a U-turn. You didn't go to the office. Where did you go to?
Oh, I came back to the house.
Have you spoken to the man who ousted you, since the one who did the coup d'etat against you?
When he called, but unfortunately, I was on call. You see, I have to, as things was happening like that, I have to consult. I am somebody who is a peacemaker. I don't want any hulabaloo and all that stuff. I'm a peacemaker.
Okay.
So I have to report to the necessary authority.
Okay.
So I was on phone call that he called. Later I called him twice.
He didn't pick up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what next for you? Would you let it slide and just go and be at home, or you would fight this?
It's early that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is in office. We are not even up to 1 year. And you see, fighting back with him, moving here and there. You see, the youth also wanted to do something. But you see, I am still speaking to them. I don't want a situation that my MP will be going for vetting, God willing, Friday. I don't want it I want to give him a peace of mind. Honorable democracy. And I don't want a situation that there will be a wheeler balloon, captain colors and other stuff in the constituency where 2 youth organizers are fighting. So currently I am speaking to them and I spoke to my regional and some top hierarchy. And you see, the issue is I have to meet everything to them. So I am relying on them whatever advice or measures that they take.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm sorry that you woke up a CEO or a director and you are going to sleep as a common floor member.
You are really welcome.
That's Christian Ankumahene Amwa. He is the ousted, overthrown YEA director for the Asin North District Office of the YEA, and he's also the deputy youth organizer of the NDC in that constituency. He was removed from office by his boss, the youth organizer for the constituency, this morning. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Kojo, is everything alright?
Everything is alright. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no!
But how to go and get a new diaper? What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba.
By now you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters. MTN, everywhere you go.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. AJB, what do we have next?
Well, Kwesi Kwarteng, spokesperson for NPP flag-bearer aspirant Kennedy Ejapon, has welcomed the expansion of the Electoral College for the flag-bearer election, describing it as a positive step.
That's not the only thing he said. He's joined on the line now. Kwesi Kwarteng speaks for Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, who is hoping to be president. Hello, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Mr. Sander, thank you and a very good evening to you.
Good evening to you. Aside you welcoming the expansion of the college, you have also said that there was a case of favoritism at the just ended conference. A lot of your party members are saying it was a beautifully organized event. It has showcased that you are a united party and so on. Why do you depart?
Mr. Sander, I perfectly agree with those who have described the conference in that regard. Indeed, it was a very colorful event in terms of security arrangement, very spot on, how enthusiastic the delegates were. I mean, clearly, you can see that it was a very successful event, even if you look at the reforms that were proposed and subsequently adopted by the conference. And so, yes, I do agree. And even if you ask me, I want to grade ourselves as a party about 99%, except to also add that when you successfully organize an event, you should also not necessarily be dismissive about feedbacks that comes from the same constituents or the same delegates. Concerns have come up, of course, not necessarily being raised by Kosiko or the camp I represent, but I happen to be there, and the feedback that we also picked, we are of the view that if it's also factored in future decision makings, I'm sure it's going to also strengthen the party at the end of the day. And that is with regards to how people felt that certain persons or individuals were overly and intentionally projected to create a picture and some form of atmosphere to give an impression as though it's having the whole delegate endorsement or support. Of course, I must also hasten to add that if we look at, for instance, the person of our former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, for instance, I mean, we acknowledge the fact that he was our former Vice President, and for that matter, he should be accorded with the necessary respect, privileges, and courtesies that should be accrued to him. But in the same vein, in the spirit of building party unity, strengthening the party, people have also raised concern that we should also not be seen to be so intentional about promoting, especially when we know that he has ambitions of running again for the flag bearership, and other people or other party faithful also have similar ambitions. If we look at the fact that he was taking around the whole stadium to wave at the crowd, and at some point we have to play music for all of them to rise up, and signals were given to them to wave and all those things. I mean, it could have been avoided, or even better, done in a better way, where probably would have invited the whole party, National Executives Committee, even including other aspirants and other senior members of the party to have joined him. And if after your speech, the next thing is for you to go around, wave at the crowd, of course, the camera tricks, and more or less like a choreographed act. Clearly, I mean, people may have such concerns to raise. But of course, for me, if those concerns come out from the delegates, it is not necessarily to suggest that maybe the program was not properly organized. No, it only feedback for all of us to factor in, to consider that in the spirit of party unity, in the spirit of overall cohesion of our members, some of these things we may also have to look at it, so that we don't send a negative impression or signal to other supporters of other aspirants or other hopeful who may also be interested in running similar office, that may feel that there has been a systemic and intentional way of promoting the Bawumia ahead of the other aspirants. I think these concerns, for me, should be looked in and taken in good faith.
I see. But the argument has been made that he was the vice president. In fact, at that event, he was the most senior member in reference to political power, because Nana Addo Dankwa, the former president, was not there. John Ejikun Kufuor, the former president, was not there. The only person who was there, who has sat at the presidency, was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and you ought to have accorded him that respect. And that is why what happened, and that has nothing to do with his flag bearership campaign.
Omar, I don't think that has been in dispute at all. It was even the first point that I made, that considering his status in the party, getting those privileges and courtesies ordinarily automatically accrues to him. I'm sure it was even the more reason why he was the only person that was invited into the inner perimeter to address the audience and the delegates there. But the subsequent to that, the events that unfolded, where even after he had given his speech, received an applaud from the crowd, and had to move through the whole stadium in that campaign mode, obviously did not also sit well with some delegates. And I mean, opinions are like noses. At the end of the day, it's just feedback that are coming up. That is why people like us also realize that those were the feedback that we picked from some of the delegates. They could have also even done it with the whole party structures and some senior members of the party. Nothing prevented that.
But what would be the locus of your candidate, for instance, if he were to be part of that tour, maybe on his horse? What would be his locus, really?
I don't think this has anything to do with, for instance, Kennedy Dapo. It has more to do with the impression that we are sending out. Recall that in the last 2023 primaries, undeniably and unarguably, most of the national executive officers that were expected to be neutral were openly seen campaigning for him. So that bit of mistrust obviously is there. So in moments like this and at events like this, where we believe that we've moved on from the past, and then we are trying to reconcile, mend all cracks, strengthen the party, if it so happens that people have the feeling that same thing is being played out, or same strategy, same things that happened in the past are being played out again, obviously they will have a basis of concern. It is even the more reason why it was even an opportunity for the organizers of the program or the event to have reinforced the trust and the confidence that our delegates and the party reposes in them, so that indeed they will believe that yes, in this circumstance and especially at this particular time, they are indeed going to be neutral arbiters.
Okay.
And of course play that refereeing role, and whoever wins flag bearers at the end of the day, all of us comes together and support him.
Very well.
There is a basis to that. There is a precedent where people have had those feelings, which indeed have been confirmed by some conduct of some leadership or those in authority. And so when you don't give more fuel to those speculations and those assumptions and those fears that had already happened in the past.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Yeah, very well, very well.
That's Kwesi Kwarteng. He speaks for the Honorable Kennedy Japan, who's seeking to be flag bearer of the MPP. Forgive me. Let me go to the other line. The former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's aide, is Dennis Miracles Abuaji. Dr. Bawumia himself interested in being flag bearer. Mr. Abuaji, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Hello, thank you, man.
Yeah, great. As a camp and as a person, what would be your own assessment of what happened on Saturday?
I think generally, not just me, but even the general public acknowledge that Saturday was a big success for the New Patriotic Party. I mean, it was a straightforward event. The conference of the party, which is the highest decision-making body, was meeting to do an assessment of the party and then make some reformation decisions, which I think we all agree went very well. So, well coordinated, well organized. Every single party person there comported him or herself very well. And I would say kudos to the organizers and kudos to every single MPP person that was there on Saturday.
There's an accusation that there was a bias on the side of the organizers for and on behalf of your candidate, your preferred candidate. I just spoke there to Kwesi Kwarteng. He talks about how Dr. Bawumia walked through the stadium, waved, how the cameras were fixed on him, the videos that were shown and all of that. He thought that amounted to putting one person above other persons in a competition, and he said even if you are not going to have other aspirants work with him and do all of those, at least you should have made him do that with party leadership and so on, so that you can say it was a party thing he was doing. But clearly what they saw appeared to be putting him above their candidates. How do you react?
I think it's a sad situation. It's sad that anytime the party is taking its shine and taking its glory, we'll have such issues coming up and basically robbing the party of the shine. I mean, this is completely unfounded. Where is this coming from? Everybody at the stadium and all those who are watching on TV acknowledged the beauty of the occasion. First of all, Saturday had nothing to do with aspirants. Saturday Saturday had nothing to do with contestants. There was no single individual at the venue Saturday that was more important than the party MPP. It was all about MPP on Saturday, and the party could not be bothered about individual interests and people's parochial interests. And I'm surprised this is coming up. Umaru, this is not the first time we're having a national conference. At all national conferences of this nature, not the extraordinary conferences that are called for elections, but at national conferences of this nature, which are meant for deliberations of the party and all of that, there is always a procedure. The chairman of the party who is chairing the event will speak, the host region, the general secretary, the treasurer. Of course, we cannot line up all the 88 members of parliament. So the leader and for the minority in parliament would speak. Then the flag bearer of the immediate past elections would speak. You can go and look at all conferences we've had post-elections since 2008 and check and realize that Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, who was not even the vice president even post 2008 elections, was basically the poster boy of the conference. Nobody had ever had an issue with that. In this particular instance, that was not even the case. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia basically showed up once throughout the entire conference. Nobody even noticed Dr. Bawumia coming in to the venue. He was called, descended from the VIP box, went to the dais, made his speech, walked back to his seat, and that was it. So I don't know if you saw anything different because you were there. The description I've given, I don't know if you saw anything different from that. He descended from the stands, walked on the across the stadium, went to the dais after his speech, descended from the dais and walked back to his seat. It is not Dr. Bawumia's fault that whilst he was getting down to the dais and getting off the dais to go and sit down, he received cheers from the crowd and the team party people in the crowd. It is not his fault. And I don't know where this is coming from. Who cares about any candidates on Saturday? Nobody cared. Saturday was about the MPP. Nobody was interested in all this. As we speak, who is an aspirant? Dr. Bawumia himself has not picked any forms. Has he told anybody he's going to run elections in January? Who knows even if Kennedy Japan himself will run? Who knows? Do you know the number of other people, other party people in the stands who are ready to go and pick forms to contest? How was the party going to even be able to identify if all of them were to be given whatever spotlight they are talking about? I think this is quite unfair on the party that after such a successful event, we have to be saddled with this conversation. And it's high time Kwesi Kwate and co. They stop this. It is unfair on the party. Basically, they are robbing the party of the party shine. Why? Umaru, why? The description I have given you now, you were there. You disprove or disagree with the description of what happened. He descended from the stands, came to the stadium, walked across the stadium to the dais, spoke, finished speaking, walked across, and went to sit down. As he was walking, there were cheers. He stood, acknowledged the cheers from the teeming crowds in the stands. How is this? I mean, so the time they were cheering Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, they were expecting him to put his hands in his pocket and not move because a certain Kwesi Kwate will complain.
Okay.
Why are we doing this to the New Patriotic Party?
Let's leave it here. Thank you for speaking to us. I'll speak to the party next. That's Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's speak to the host of the conference, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Divine Agohome. He's joined us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mario.
Have you heard and seen reactions from the weekend's event which suggests that the organization of the event was skewed to favor one candidate, specifically Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
Thank you. Mario, first of all, I would want to use this opportunity to, say hello to your cherished listeners, and then also the viewers of Channel 1. Citi TV, you're doing an extremely good job. I was expecting that calling me, first of all, you would have congratulated me for hosting such a wonderful and a successful conference. You could have started from there before you telling me what others are saying. In any case,
Divine, congratulations. You did a great job. Your organization was nice, but you also had your own private security. You had your private security when there was Ghana Police Service. Congratulations on all of that. Hello? Hello? Is that going?
His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a former vice president of this land. And if we are privileged enough to have somebody like that attending conference with us in the absence of the immediate past president, and then also our former president, His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor. Now, the only person we have at the senior most the structure at the event was His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, as protocol will require, he was seated in that 2x4 box where the national officers, including myself as the host chairman, sat. He was there. Now, if you look at the arrangement inside that box, almost all the chairs are black in color. There is only one chair that has the coat of arms that's supposed to receive, somebody of the status of the president or the vice president. So, reason that this is a party event, he was denied sitting on that chair. Humbly as we know him to be, he sat on one of the other chairs, and we rather allowed the the acting chair, who was chair of conference, to sit on that chair. That's number one. Now, by virtue of the fact that he was a former vice president, he sat in that space, and he was not going into the stands to exchange pleasantries with participants of the event. He started throughout. Now, you are talking about other presidential purpose. We must put this on record that as we speak now, we have not open nomination. So we don't have any aspirant for that matter. We are all equal. We are all equal. We are all equal party members, except for the reference that I have made, that we have a vice president, a former vice president in our midst. And you agree with me that we need to give him that protocol, that respect.
But when you are organizing and planning,
let me finish so that you can. I'm sorry. In a way, for want of a better word, he remained caged in that box. The only opportunity he had was to.
Hello.
Now, after doing that, it's only fine that he walks around and with the people, at least giving the opportunity to say thank you to the party for, having him as a candidate for the last election. He needs to wave at them because these are participants who are coming from various regions. I don't see anything wrong with it. Others that you are referring to, who we have not open nomination, have given indication that they would want to contest. It is when we open nomination, and only when we open nomination, that we can readily refer to them as a presidential aspirants or whatever. They had a free time to be moving from stand to stand, exchanging pleasantries. And nobody is complaining about that. Bawumia couldn't do that. The only opportunity he had was to get down and wave at 30 people who once upon a time gave him the opportunity as their flag bearer. And now that they have come from their various regions, seizing the opportunity to wave at them. And what's the problem with this one? So I think that we should be careful not to take away the sign of such a successful conference by eternally looking for fault where the in it. So please, let's understand this. We have had a very successful conference, and I think that the matter should rest there. When we open nomination, any other person who picks nomination goes through vetting and gets passed as our flag bearer. We will accord that person whatever protocol that person is due. Then there will be no problem. So please, I want to make this very, very clear.
That's fine. When you were planning and organizing this event and arranging the speakers and everything, did you consider the possibility that some persons who are aspiring to be the flag bearer of the party would have issue with the fact that you allow one person, even though the privileges and courtesies of having been vice president allow him to do what he did? Do you agree that perhaps you could have, maybe with hindsight now on your side, you could have done this in a better way so that you don't have the criticisms coming from Kennedy Japon's camp especially?
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. And the reason is this. I've already told you that as we speak now, as well as I do, that we have no open nomination. So we don't have any aspirant. That is what it is. I myself divide into alcohol. When nominations are open, probably I could go and pick nomination and say I'm contesting to become the flag bearer of the party. Is that enough reason for which the party, for whatever reason, must anticipate my interest in participating in this, for which reason I should be given the opportunity to walk in the stadium or what? Please, let's understand this. I'm saying that when we open nomination, any party member who is qualified per the dictates of our constitution goes to pick a nomination form. You become an aspirant. We take you through the vetting process. If you are passed, we will allow you any protocol that will allow any other person. Let me ask this question. If it had not been the case that for whatever reason we are thinking that there is the possibility of His Excellency Dr. Bawumia taking form to contest, would we have had any problem with this? So let's say, for example, if His Excellency Nanado were to have been present and after reading or addressing conference, he goes around to greet people, would we be complaining?
Okay.
Who wouldn't be complaining?
Let's leave it here.
Please. This thing should be coming from somebody else. MPP was ahead of us is that we need to unite. We need to come together. And the party leadership is making every effort to ensure that the party comes together. If these processes have gone wrong, these people would have been bashing us left, right, center. We've organized by the grace of God such a wonderful conference that everybody is talking good about, the whole event. And we ourselves want to tear the party down for whatever reason. So let them wait. Let's open nomination. Whoever is interested, go and pick the nomination form. We take it through vetting. When you are vetted and passed to contest, you become a party a presidential aspirant. Then we treat you as such. That's what I will say.
Thank you so much for speaking to Azaz Divine Otuagohom. He is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, UTAG, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Cracks Training Institute on 0552 222217, 0552 222217, or visit cracks.edu.gh.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the banco.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. Loco shoe. This advert is FDA approved. Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
To some more stories, the Minister of Defense, Dr. Edward Omane Bawumia, has stated that the country's presidential jet remains grounded in France due to serious technical faults, including heavy corrosion in its fuel tanks and engine components. The jet's prolonged absence has reignited public debate over whether Ghana should invest in a new one, more spacious and reliable aircraft for the presidency. While some have raised concerns over cost and timing, others argue that a modern replacement is necessary to avoid dependence on costly rentals. Speaking during the government accountability series in Accra today, Dr. Omane Bawumia said the aircraft has been undergoing major repairs since March 11, 2025.
The aspect about aircraft acquisition became popular because I was asked a question in Parliament by an MPP member of Parliament to explain where the Falcon was when the Vice President was returning to Ghana. Perhaps the Honourable Member felt maybe the Falcon was available, but government decided to be ostentatious. That was not the case. President Mohammed's government engages in austerity, and so there was no way, if the Falcon was available, the Vice President was going to come in with an alternate aircraft. So I had to explain, and even there, in trying to explain, I limited my answer to about just 2 or 3 paragraphs, but subsequent questions were said that I had to give the fullest detail of what the state of the aircraft is. It is sad to note that for some time now, whenever the aircraft goes for either maintenance, repair, or overhaul, the date that is scheduled to return to Ghana keeps extending. It's extended for 2 months before, for 2.5 months before, and in this case, as we speak, the aircraft is still not in. We've been given a date, but I don't want to put that date out because I've been given too many dates. Air Force, you've given me too many dates which did not materialize. So I don't want to put the date out, but we are hoping that this date that has been given, we will see the Falcon here in Ghana. However, it doesn't take away the fact that the presidential jet is sick. You heard the various multiple corrosion that I listed. I don't want to repeat it. The truth is that it is heavily corroded, and this is not the Air Force itself saying it. These are third independent parties putting out this when it was sent away. That does not in any way justify hiring or renting of luxurious aircrafts. Persistently, no way. I don't want to mention any former president's name, and I don't even know whether at that particular time whether the aircraft was in this state. So be rest assured that hopefully when we are considering the air assets of the Air Force, when we are considering the assets of the Ghana Navy, when we are considering the assets of the Ghana Army.
You heard Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane Bawumia. Away from that, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has reiterated its decision to embark on a nationwide strike if the government fails to honor a pact it signed to combat illegal mining. The agreement, signed with the candidates of the 2 major political parties before the 2024 elections, included commitments such as repealing LI 2462 and declaring a state of emergency in illegal mining areas. The intended strike at the same time was called off following the pact. In an interview with Citi News, President of UTAG's KNUST chapter, Professor Eric Abavari, expressed deep disappointment in the government's efforts and urged the president to declare a state of emergency and adopt pragmatic, results-driven strategies.
We are hearing from grapevine that the LI, instead of it repeal, they are discussing of amendment. But that's what we agreed. We never in any way said we wanted amendment. So that was a breach to the pact. Somebody may say, well, he said it's an emergency, state of emergency. Yes, you talk about state of emergency. Rhetorically, he just talked about state of emergency. Then let us place it into action. But they just were. So for us, we think the president is not willing to solve the problem. He's just acting, trying to blackmail Ghanaians emotionally, because he goes on air to speak as though he's committed, but his actions are otherwise. Blue, whatever they call it, guard, or are these people able to match mercenaries in the bush with sophisticated weaponry? They are not committed to solving, and therefore Utah feels that we have been used.
Professor Eric Abavari is president of UTAG's KNUST chapter.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ijubi Wiafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. Civil society organizations want the government to set a clear expiry date for the newly introduced 1 cedi fuel levy, which took effect on July 16. They warn that without a defined timeline, the levy risks becoming a permanent tax burden, similar to the energy sector recovery levy, which remains in force years after its introduction. At a media engagement ahead of the mid-year budget review, coordinator of the economic governance platform, Abdul Karim Mohammed, said the new fuel levy as a lazy fiscal measure to revenue mobilization.
Then we will also want to talk about the levy. That's the 1 cedi on the liter that the government has introduced. We realize that there's no sunset clause. We don't have any specific timeline that the government intends to do this. If you look in our history, it has become the easiest, and I must say the laziest way by which government always tries to raise revenue to address energy sector inefficiencies. We've had the experience of President Kufuor's regime, where we started paying the toll recovery levy, and we are still paying it till today. Under the previous John Mahama administration, they introduced the ESLA levy that we have been paying. We thought it was going to be short-lived, but we are still paying it. So now that we are having another levy, we need to have clarity on the timelines. How long is this levy going to be there?
That was Abdul Karim Mohammed, coordinator for the Economic Governance Platform. Now the government is expected to announce bold and fresh measures to consolidate its revenue mobilization efforts when it presents the 2025 mid-year budget review to Parliament on Thursday, July 24. The presentation by Finance Minister Dr. Casey Arthur-Forson will be heavy on fiscal performance for the first half of the year and outline strategies to sustain economic recovery under the ongoing IMF-backed program, with a focus on taxes, spending efficiency, and possible tweaks to existing levies. What more is there to expect in the budget review?
This year's review is expected to provide a critical assessment of government's economic management over the first half of the year, covering revenue performance, expenditure, debt servicing, and policy implementation. revenue mobilization will be a top priority, especially as government prepares to roll out key infrastructure projects, including major roads. Meeting revenue targets is seen as essential to financing these initiatives without compromising fiscal discipline. The finance minister is also expected to update Parliament on the performance and impact of recent tax measures, such as the implementation of the 1 Citi fuel levy and the scrapping of the e-levy, and ongoing plans to simplify the VAT system, including the possible removal of the COVID-19 levy. So far, Ghana has met several structural benchmarks under its IMF-supported program, and government is expected to stay the course to avoid reversing recent gains. The 2025 target is to mobilize over 200 billion Ghana cedis in domestic revenue by year-end. In an interview with Citi Business News, tax analyst Francis Timoboy noted that while the first half of the year has been relatively stable, the coming month will be a true test of government's fiscal discipline.
And on the revenue side, we've seen some important structural tax reforms, including the introduction of the modified taxation system, which for the past 10 years we've not been able to implement. And these efforts are aimed at broadening the tax base. But for me, the real test lies ahead. The mid-year budget review will show whether the government can sustain this discipline. Can spending cuts be maintained? Would arrears and procurement controls hold firm? These are the questions that will define the second half of the fiscal year. So the second half of the year will be very crucial.
Dr. Atuforsen is also expected to provide updates on key flagship programs, including the 24-hour economy initiative and the Big Push infrastructure program, along with funding strategies to drive them forward in the second half of the year.
Emmanuel Paul of the Citi Business Desk with that report. Away from that, government has begun negotiations with independent power producers (IPPs) to secure more favorable terms under existing power agreements. Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor says the talks is to reach a deal that protects public interest while ensuring IPPs remain viable partners in Ghana's energy future. Speaking at a high-level forum hosted by the Africa Center for Energy Policy and the Open Society Foundations, the minister revealed that early months of his tenure were fraught with operational threats, including potential shutdowns by IPPs over unpaid arrears. He, however, expressed confidence that ongoing sector reforms and these renegotiations will help stabilize the power sector and lay the groundwork for long-term sustainability.
We started working, and I can say that looking at where we were and where we are today, we are making very, very significant progress. If we can keep on that trajectory, I'm very sure that we can turn around the corner. And you couldn't have gotten a better topic addressing Ghana's energy sector challenges. Not just addressing the challenges, but we're addressing the challenges for economic transformation. And my understanding of economic transformation is that we want to anchor the economy. We want to set it on a sound footing so that there's long-term sustainability in terms of the gains that we make. And in doing so, then the issue of sustainable development comes in. We are renegotiating with some of the IPPs, and we believe that under the leadership of Ben and Co., who are spearheading that agenda for us, we'll be able to come to some very, very favorable terms with the IPP, so we can have a win-win situation.
John Jinapor is Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Now, government has ramped up efforts to tackle the country's persistent unemployment crisis with a renewed focus on youth job creation. Labour, Jobs and Employment Minister Dr. Rashid Pelpo says the administration is targeting the creation of 2 million jobs under a raft of strategic programs. Speaking to the media on the sidelines of the 2025 DTI Jobs and Opportunities Fair, Dr. Rashid Pelpo described the initiative as a direct attack on unemployment, which remains one of the most pressing socio-economic challenges facing the country.
The feasibility is still manifest even now. You know what is happening? Lots of these guys who are trained to do these things are already passing out and setting up their own companies. They are employing people. You see the Ejumawura program which we just launched is catching the tide. You see the youth employment programs. They are targeting young people who are unemployed and giving them capacity to be employers themselves. Those of them who we cannot support, we are exporting them to other countries and will bring them back after they have learned experience. There is a whole attack on the unemployment situation in Ghana. There's a commitment to create jobs. There's a commitment to fulfill our expectations of 2 million jobs, and it's manifesting, it's taking space in our economy.
Dr. Rashid Pelpo is Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment. To bridge the widening skills gap in the country's mining and energy sectors, Mark Partners Training Institute and the University of Mines and Technology UMAT have entered into a strategic partnership to roll out a technical apprenticeship and career training program. The two institutions have signed a memorandum of understanding to deliver a hybrid model of engineering education that combines classroom theory with industry-driven practical experience. The move is to raise a new generation of technically competent engineers like those in Australia and South Africa to meet the rising demand for skilled labor, stimulate local manufacturing, and create jobs in the mining and industrial value chains. Here is Dr. Seth Quay, CEO of Mark Partners Group, speaking after the signing ceremony.
In as much as the universities are churning out a lot of students, not all of them get in. And also, like the prof said, the path right now is becoming more academic than practical. So one of the things that we want to do at our center is that those who come in to do hands-on job, the university can help by, especially UMAT, with the kind of practicality, engineering practice program that you have, can input into the studies of these young guys who hitherto are just coming to master the trade by their hands. So they'll become, I guess it's to say like similar to what the police were set up to do in the past. You need to create engineers through apprenticeship. If you go to Australia, South Africa and places like that, people leave school and they are worked hands-on for 3 years while studying, and they can go through that route, the engineering route, and it's something that I share with Prof. So for me, this is a very good initiative, and it's coming at a time where needed, the industry, and especially the mining industry.
You heard the CEO of Mark Partners Group, Dr. Seth Quay. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Biafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. Now what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054 0109 649. line Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamar. Tonight on Point Blank, we take you back to the NPP conference over the weekend. Sami Biafi and myself sat with former Education Minister Dr. Yawse Educhum, who is MP for Bosomtwi and hoping to be flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. We spoke to him about his legacy in the education sector and why he wants to be leader of the NPP and by extension President of Ghana. Listen.
To accommodate the students, even in America. But what they said to themselves was that we don't want NHR to wait. Therefore, we are using the concept of year-round school. And year-round school is what we call double track in Ghana. Now, if you look at PRESEC, before double track, PRESEC will accommodate 3,000 students and maybe a bit more. After double track, they do 5,000. So essentially, about 2,000 students have had quality PRESEC education for the last 8 to 9 years.
How long did California run the double track for?
They did it for 10 years.
And so it is justified that we do for more than
now let me tell you this. If it's a bad thing, why couldn't NDC do what they promised to do? NDC told Ghana that 120 days after we take office, double track will be a thing of the past. In fact, President Mahama used to tease us by saying, red, go green, red, go green. Then NDC comes to power. They set up a committee to review double track. The first and second sitting of the committee, they concluded that they cannot change double track and said it was going to take them 2 years. If it's a bad thing, why do you wait for 2 years?
Because there's no infrastructure which you should have left behind.
See, it's not about no infrastructure, it's about being creative. Let me tell you, when we started double track, about 50% of the students were on double track. Not every school was on double track. 50% of the schools were on double track. The rest were. Now it's about 70% that have removed themselves from double track. Double track is a thing of the past for Tamasco. For a number of schools, double track is no longer there. Okay. You see, you start something that benefits the people. You intervene by building more schools, by building new infrastructure in the existing schools.
How many did you build before you left office as a government?
As a government, about 20 more senior high schools were completed. And
you
then
mean 20 blocks, not high?
No, we don't even include E-blocks.
Or new
schools, STEM schools that we built. No, E-block that we completed is not part of that.
Okay.
There are a number of E-blocks that we completed. We know it was started by NDC. I'm not even adding it.
Okay.
But you see, the bottom line is this. It's not good enough to build a new school. It's not good enough. If you know something about education, when you build a new school, you need to affiliate it with an existing high-performing school. Otherwise, the history of Ghana tells you that new schools take about 50 years before they become high-demand schools. So if you want to remove double track and the double track is in the high-performing schools, don't just build a new school and allow it to stay there.
Okay.
Any new school that you build, affiliate it with an existing high-performing school so that in no time it will become a high-performing school.
Very well.
So that was our strategy. You look at Abomosu, a beautiful school, bigger than PRESEC. We affiliated with PRESEC. We transferred an assistant headmaster from PRESEC to Abomosu so that the DNA of PRESEC will be implanted there. There's a school in my constituency called Bosomtwi Girls, a STEM school for girls. We affiliated that with Wesley Girls in Cape Coast. We hired Mrs. Jokoto through the MasterCard Foundation. They paid her to go to Bosomtwe girls and mentor the students, mentor the teachers.
Okay.
Last year, Bosomtwe girls produced its first cohort of graduates. 3 of them are in medical school now because of the work of Mrs. Jokoto and the affiliation with Wesley Girls. Our goal is simple. It's no rocket science. You can create high-performing schools if you have Unipra in Cape Coast and you know the performance a bit low. Why don't you bring best practices from Infansipe, Medisadel, and get them to be high-performing? You see, the concept of double track was not because there were no spaces in schools. There were no spaces in high-performing schools.
One more question on education, and then Sami will come in. The teacher licensure exams, this government is on a course to scrap it. They say there are better ways to assess teachers than the licensure exams. What's your comment on that as someone who's superintendent?
What we thought was the right thing, best practices around the world. That's what we thought was the right thing to do. We explained it to Ghanaians. And in fact, this government piloted the licensure before we came. President Kufuor passed the law. NDC piloted the teacher licensure before we took over and made it a full-scale transitional program. They are in power now. They have the authority. They want to change it. It's between them and the good people of Ghana. I, as a teacher, believe that like accountants, like lawyers, teachers must also have a license so that our respect will go through the roof. Let me tell you this, I'm not promoting that teachers should leave the country. But with the license, a teacher goes to UK, they can step into the classroom and teach.
So you agree with the license? You want it to stay?
I want it to stay, but there's a government in power. If that's what they want, Ghanaians should be the judges. You want your children to go to a school where a teacher who has been certified teaches your children. It's your judgment. Me, I thought as a teacher, I needed other teachers to have a license just like I had in California. I want my profession to be respected just like lawyers are respected. So I thought license was the right thing to do. So any day I would say license is the right thing to do. But once we were in power, what we did with an ally that went to parliament and we couldn't do anything because of the chaos that happened was that we were going to change the time of the exam. That teacher trainees don't have to stay 1 year after they graduate to write exam. We believe, and I believe, that when they are writing their final exams, they should also write the licensure exam before they go home, so that it won't be an inconvenience to them. I thought that needed to be aligned, but the license should have stayed. The time of the exams is what you are. You change so that it's convenient for the trainee and not for them to wait 6 months, 1 year. No. Do it while they're in school and while the brain is fresh.
No, let's just stay with the educational sector. The government has introduced the stress-free system where first-year students do not pay tuition fee. What do you make of it?
It's good. If you are allowing people to go to school for free, we went to the university for free. It's not a new thing. When we were at the university, there was no academic visa facility fee. There were no student loans. Student loans came when I was in the second, going to the third year of the university. Once upon a time, tertiary education was free in this country. We had free. When I was going to the third year, is when student loans came. Even that, it wasn't so much to pay fees. It was a loan to support your feeding. That is when the student loan, it was free in this country. Any government wants to make it free, why not? I don't think there's anything, because as an individual, I set up the YOA Foundation, Yawsedichum Foundation, and I was able to send students to the university to be educated for free. I have 130 students who are pursuing engineering, 20 who are doing medical science from Bosomtwe and my foundation is taking care of them free.
Okay.
So if you want to educate tertiary education for free, it's good.
Let's talk about your party. What is broken with the MPP? For which reason you want to fix it by leading it?
Nothing is broken.
So why do you want to change the driver?
Nothing is broken. I come to reinforce.
Explain that.
Nothing is broken. I have a unique set of experience. When it comes to business development, I have a unique set of experience. I was able to package loans and issue bonds in the United States of America on Wall Street. My company was rated by Standard & Poor's BBB- bond rating. I was able to raise 20 million on Wall Street in 30 minutes.
But you're saying this to someone who has been described by your party as an economic whiz kid, who was your immediate past flag bearer, who is seeking to run again. How do you compare yourself against that person?
I can't speak for anybody. I'm telling you what I'm made of.
Okay.
I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I, Dr. Yao Osedichum.
But the delegates will compare you.
I allow the delegates to compare. I'm not here to talk about anybody. I'm here to talk about what I have done. Nobody has educated 150 engineers in his constituency. I'm here to talk about what I have done. If somebody has done it, you should come and say. So I don't have time to talk about any of the contenders for flag bearership. What I know is what I testify about. Once upon a time, I grew up in an environment on a cocoa farm. Today, I have the audacity to say I want to become president. My mom didn't go to school, my dad didn't go to school. I became the minister for education. I want my story to encourage the youth of Ghana to understand if Dr. Educhum can make it, we will not despair. One day we will make it. I have a unique story to tell. I'll tell my story. I'll motivate my delegates. I'll motivate the youth of Ghana. I'll let them know under my leadership we'll do everything to wage war against poverty in this country, and we are going to make sure that this nation called Ghana will not continue without becoming like Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew in 1963 came to Ghana. When he visited Ghana, Ghana was ahead of them economically. Where did we go wrong? Why is it that the late 1970s China president Deng Xiaoping woke up, went to Japan, saw Japan and said, I want to take China. Now today China is moving out of poverty. Ghana has been at this for too long. Dr. Yao Osedichum says, we are going to tackle these challenges. We'll create a better nation. That's my vision.
Okay.
And I'm doing this because I believe that we cannot continue to sit around, go from town to town, see pictures of young people on the wall, and we say painful as a gone too soon. What a shock. Something needs to happen.
How does your political experience compare with other persons in the field? How politically experienced are you to lead a political party like the NPP, which has a history that we know?
My brother, I'm not here to lead the political party. I'm here to become the president of the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah, but you need a party.
My party has to affirm me. Yes. My party has to affirm me so that I can lead the country. My party has to affirm me. Let me tell you this. I grew up in an era of coup d'etats. I was born in 1964. I was welcomed into this country with a coup d'etat in 1966.
Which was allegedly organized by your party's tradition.
That's your assessment.
Okay.
I was welcomed by a coup d'etat, 1966. 1969 went to democratic rule. 1972 there was a coup d'etat in this country. Briefly, we went back to democratic governance. We went back to coup d'etat under Rawlings. We went back to civilian regime. We went back to coup d'etat. So those of us who grew up in the 1970s, when we got to the university, we wanted Rawlings out, and Rawlings out immediately. We organized demonstrations. I was the student leader, assistant secretary of the SRC at KNUS, it's called USD at the time. We fought Rawlings. One of the demonstrations, when we demanded that he hand over power, the next morning there was a caption in the newspaper, Daily Graphic. Rawlings said, hand over to whom? We were the ones who said we cannot live under undemocratic rule. We fought. By the time I graduated in 1990, did my national service, there was a freeze on employment in this country. They will not hire any university graduates. I got the opportunity to travel abroad, but I did not leave Ghana behind. I became the president of Ghana Association of Southern California in California. I became the vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party, California chapter. We were involved in the political process, even if from abroad. So before I joined this party, before I came back to Ghana, I was at minimum involved politically. And I cut my teeth in student politics and governance. Before you saw me on the Ghanaian political scene, others will say you are so young in politics. No.
Okay. I have a quick question for you. Before Sami comes in. You have said publicly that it was Akufo-Addo who went to see you and said to you, you are doing a brilliant job in the US, come home and serve. And that's how come you came. At what point did you decide that, I think I can also run for president? Was it before Akufo-Addo discovered you, or was after he brought you home?
That really doesn't matter. I'll tell you this. Any police officer, you see, police is a unique tradition. When you become a sergeant and chief inspector, you can sit for exams, you can become an officer, ASP, right? So every police officer wants to be an IGP. If you are a politician who doesn't want to be president, why are you in politics?
Maybe it's just for the sake of it.
No, me, for the sake of it, no. When your vision is profound, you want your people to have an impact. I want the people of Ghana to have the impact of Dr. Yelse Educhun. For every Singapore, there's a Liu Kuan Yew.
But you haven't answered the question. When did this dream of becoming a president come to you?
Now, I'll tell you, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm not here to tell you when I had a dream.
Agreed.
But I have a dream that Ghana will be a different nation.
Agreed. Let's talk about what's happening here today. Your party is seeking to amend aspects of its constitution, 56 motions. Are you in agreement with all, or you have disagreement with some of them?
And I think the Constitutional Review Committee had a meeting with me. There are many of the things that I gave my ideas on. If you look at enlarging the electoral college, I support it. If you look at the fact that diaspora representation should be enlarged, I support it. You go to the United States of America, 50 states, even if we have branches or chapters in 40 of them. If you go to New York, there are thousands of Ghanaians who are part of the party, but the New York chapter has no vote whatsoever when it comes to elections in the party. So the proposal that says allow chapters to vote, at least chapters executive to vote, in addition to the only 12 U.S. branch executive who are voting, I think is the right thing to do. If you talk about disability inclusion, it's the right thing to do. There are certain areas about youth and youth, the idea, the limit. You see, the point of the matter is this. Those who are against the limit makes a case that you are a party in transition. You have somebody who have served. They are now about 35, 38. They have experiences to share so that you can move on to 2028. You are going to remove all of them. There will be no institutional memory at the youth end. There are some who are also saying limit the age so that there will be more Gen Zs coming in. That is also a fantastic idea. I think what needs to happen is that we should have almost like a grandfather clause that will say, beginning this year, if you are this age, you can't. So that you can still allow those who are 38 to run, 35 to run, graduate themselves out, and then they've shared with you their experience by also allowing the Gen Zs to come in.
Doc, you're a politician. You're supposed to take hard decisions. It appears you are having a difficulty taking that hard decision. 35 or 40. Where is Dr. Educhun standing?
A politician has to also make sure there's always gray area in everything that you do.
Very well.
And I thought you have said you gave me a political decision.
But my final question before Omar asks is, the party wants to do something for the first time. Elect a flag bearer first before other officers. In time past, it was from the base to the top. You have disagreement with this, or you're okay with it because you're obviously going to be one of the contenders.
You see, if you look at the rationale of the executive and then the what we call it, the Constitutional Review Committee, if you look at the rationale for it, they are saying that for the first time, right, these flag bearer elections have just come up too fast. And if you go to any constituency, you're going to get Dr. Dichun supporters, Bawumia supporters, Bray Champon supporters, Kenneth Japan supporters, other many that may be coming. So when it comes to constituency election, it is going to be brutal.
So save the party by choosing the flag bearer.
Yeah. So what will happen is this: if the chairman of the constituency was a Bawumia supporter, those who did not win the chairmanship are going to say, had it not been for Bawumia, I would have been the chairman. Yeah. If Bawumia wins, I don't care. He brought money to this guy, and because of him, the guy is the chairman. He wants me to come and support him. So if you look at that rationalization, it makes a justification for the exemption, which to go against the norm.
Flip the coin.
So in their mind, this, we have to make sure we avoid the bloodbath, which can also happen at the regional level.
Okay.
And then move on to the national level. But ideally, in good times, I think top from bottom all the way top is logical.
Do you think this is a bad time, and so it makes sense that you start from the top?
I really understand their justification.
And it makes sense to you?
I mean, it makes sense to me. But
and you agree with it?
I think it's not the ideal thing to do.
Okay.
But their justification.
Very well. I have one last question for you, so you can leave us. Last question. In 2024, your name was part of the names of people who were supposed to be named as running mate to Dr. Bawumia. Your senior brother, who was your boss at the Ministry of Education, got that job. There are comments on the streets that you are angered by that. That's why you want to contest Dr. Bawumia for the flag bearership.
No.
How true is that?
If I was angry,
and now you are pained.
If I was angry, I wouldn't have gone to campaign for Bawumia. Nobody campaigned for him more than me. Go and look at the campaign we mounted. Go to what we did talking about Bawumia's vision for education. Who was able to get the national media at my own expense to capture my Bawumia's vision for Ghana. I'm not petty.
You are not pained.
No. He chose whoever he wanted. That's what his judgment called. It wasn't my judgment. This time I'm saying it will be me presenting myself.
Very well.
I'm not waiting for somebody to choose or not to choose.
Very well. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Yawose Educhum, former Minister for Education. Indeed, Dr. Yawose Educhum, former Minister for Education, NPP flag bearer aspirant, speaking to Sami Wiafi and myself at the just ended conference of the New Patriotic Party at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. That's by way of Eyewitness News tonight. I am Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Ejubi Wiafi Akentin. Production by Beverly London, Kwabena Wilson, Sami Wiafi, Manuel Ayama, and Juliana Odami Asare. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Emmanuel Usu and his team. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get into